Hi everyone, welcome back to Enigmatica 6 Expert Mode. This is kind of like an episode 12.5 or so. I had recorded, this next bit that you're going to see has already been recorded at this point, and I realized that it was going to be way too long of an episode if I left it all together as episode 13. So this first part is mostly going to just be showing what I've done kind of between episode 12 and 13, moving bases and just kind of resetting up some things and getting better situated as far as like resource production and stuff. So that's basically what this is going to be. And then in the next episode, the actual episode 13, there's like a little bit more of kind of showing some stuff that I've moved around as I'm actually doing some progression. So I'll be crafting some stuff and everything, and I have to run back to the old base and such. So but that one is gonna have more of progression in it. This episode is mostly just gonna be a lot of talking and showing kind of what I've done. So anyway, just enjoy the episode, and if you want to just jump to more of like progression based stuff, just go directly to episode 13. I'll release both of them at the same time, so it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. So, all right, well, have a wonderful day. I've done quite a lot off camera, just basically what I said I was going to do as far as like getting most everything moved over here to the new base. I have not built an actual house, but I have done like a little bit of like a basement kind of storage area, but I have these silenced at the moment in the sound muffler just because they were kind of annoying to listen to. I didn't think you guys would want to like hear the constant clanging of that, but this is just kind of sitting in the open right now. I'll eventually have, of course, like a factory building around this. It looks like a gigantic mess, but it's working. I am going to put a link to the specific video of To Asgaard that I was watching, where he kind of done something similar to this. This probably isn't the most efficient, but it's working pretty well. I don't have a bunch of cables running everywhere. Like the most amount of cables that I have are just under these few little chests here, but I don't have any cables running like a long distance. I've used some of these entangled blocks here, but basically I have rebuilt the bee emporium. So over here, up here, I've kind of rebuilt almost the same building. It's a little different. It's not as decorated at the moment, but this is just for looks. But down here is pretty much the exact same setup almost, but I did go ahead and make 2 multi-block centrifuges. I didn't really show it off camera just because they're not difficult to make. It's mostly just getting a lot of infused sun metal and a bunch of these machine frames. And the machine frames are what takes a long time because you basically just have to you're constantly waiting on the assembly line. Even if you have like speed upgrades and everything, it takes a little while, especially to make 2 multi-blocks, but I went ahead and did that, got that set up. I have in this one just like the vanilla like gems and metals, like I have iron and gold in there, and then I have the RGB in this one. I can fit 1 more bee type in here. I do have 2 of each kind of bee in here, so like one stays in the apiary and then comes out, and then the other one goes in, so they like go back and forth. I don't know if that's the most efficient, but it seems to be working pretty well. I may change it later on. And then over here is just all of the other regular metals, like the non-alloys, and there are 9 of those. That's why there's aluminum, zinc, all of these. That's why I moved iron and gold over there, because they wouldn't have fit in here. And then these are just my extra chests with like different bees and everything, and then something set up for the magical bees. And then I have some honey storage over here. It's obviously still kind of in the works, but just kind of some building things here. But I have 2 controllers because for what I needed, and again, there may be a more efficient way. I mean, I'm sure there definitely is, but for me to get this to work, this is how I was able to do it. So I have 1 controller controlling the specific items coming out of the centrifuges. So this one was kind of an add-on. That's why it's just got 1 item. I had to change things around and add another controller, so it's not super organized in here, but this is basically pulling out all of the individual items that don't need to be like processed further, like they can just go straight to storage. So these 2 lines, this is coming from the right centrifuge and then the left centrifuge from where I'm standing looking at this. This is the right one and the left one. This is extracting from each of those the same items and inputting it into this chest. There's some chests down here that I have, and then those are entangled and linked somewhere else, so I'll show you where those go. But so that's exporting those items and putting it into this chest, and then this line here is exporting these items and putting it into that same chest along with this random additional piece of wood. This has more slots for me to add more items if I've missed something. I'm sure I have, but I think I've gotten most everything. And then this line is just straight exporting. It's not like filtering the export necessarily on the export end, but it's importing filtered of these dusts, which are going to go further into just straight smelting. This is the only step in this whole line of processing that I don't have set up yet. I don't have the smelting set up. So those are just at the moment being stored. So I'm working through the backlog of what I had gathered while it was set up at the other base, and it was just like passively running and I wasn't doing anything with the items. This is kind of, I have gone through most of the backlog except for this stuff that needs to be like smelted. I did go ahead and go through some of the steel, but that's just because I don't know, I just wanted to. And then this one is exporting and inputting into, this is going to go for ore processing. So there's a smelting line that'll be separate, but then there's ore processing, which goes over to the factory. And this inputs all these different chunks and, ores there. This one has all of these different chunks and ancient debris, and then the different types of like nuggets as well. I know this isn't necessarily a nugget, but it can be compacted in the mechanical press into a block. So I went ahead and added that in there. But all of these are entangled, like linked to the factory over here. So it all goes to, it's connected here, and this controller exports, let's see, the ores. So all these different ores, and here, because I do have 2 connections onto this chest, it imports all of those to be extracted here, and then stuck in the crushing wheel. Then it goes to the crushing wheel, and then this right here is pulling out cobblestone and trashing it. So it's filtered for cobblestone and just trashing the cobblestone. This one here, right before it gets to where it'll start washing everything, is filtered to take out like gems and like redstone and stuff that doesn't need to be washed and sent on. So that takes that stuff out, and then this is entangled and linked to our main storage area. along with the final chest over there for the metals. But then if it's, still a metal that needs to be washed, it'll go on, and then this whole line can be washed. So any that are sitting on any of the spots on this belt can get washed. This right here is set up for brass, because whenever brass comes in from being made from the centrifuge, like when it centrifuges the brass honeycombs, it's already crushed. So it doesn't need to be crushed. It would destroy it if it did. So you just want to take it and go straight to washing. So that kind of bypasses the crushing wheel, and it deposits the brass on here to be washed. And then this one, again, like I said, this probably could be more efficient, but this is just how I've gotten it to work pretty smoothly. This one is filtered for ancient debris, the actual specific ancient debris block, because when you crush ancient debris, you have a chance of getting an actual ancient debris block back besides the scrap, which the scrap is going, if you get a piece of scrap, it's going in with the gems and stuff to go straight to storage. But the ancient debris block will keep on going, and it'll get pulled into here and get sent back through. So it basically just goes into here and then gets put back into that chest to go back through the line. And then if it doesn't meet any of those requirements, and it gets washed, it'll sit here until it becomes a nugget. And then it can pass through, because it's only allowing nuggets through this line. And the nuggets will go through here. And then this one is the linked chest where you get nuggets. So from the centrifuge, when you get nuggets, it goes straight to here. Or I do have it set up to where nuggets can be controlled over there too, so that if I need to send any from my main storage, it'll come through here as well. But nuggets will come out, and then I have these filtered to only allow 9 different types through each line of belt, because the basin can only hold 9 different kinds of nuggets. It can hold up to a stack of one type of nugget, but it can only hold 9 different kinds. So you don't want to put more than 9 in there, and because it'll just stop, it won't process. So this one has I think the main metals, iron through to uranium and everything. This one has, oh wait, why is it, do I have it on both? This is probably going to mess things up. Okay, I definitely had this all working right. I think it's registering the uranium nuggets right now, just because that's what's backed up back there. But this one only allows, I can't pull the filter off, or it'll everything will come through. But I know this last one has kind of just the magical nuggets. It has clogram, frost steel, regalium, nebu ore. Yeah, this one kind of just has the leftover metals, some cobalt and stuff like that. So once those get smashed down into ingots here, it goes into this chest. And this is backed up at the moment because I've been going through a bunch of backlog of processing of the combs and of chunks and stuff that I've had. I think it won't get so backed up once it's just normal running from the bees over there. But also it'll of course speed up once I can upgrade the pipes here to something different, these can be upgraded, and then this will eventually get, we'll eventually have the refined storage system and stuff like that. So it's kind of limited with how fast it'll pull out the items, but that's okay. So once all of that gets processed and it's sent over to our main storage here, it's linked to these individual entangled blocks, which you can't see sometimes, the diamond chests, but they are linked to those chests over there. but it pulls it out. This is kind of just a buffer chest, just in case for any particular reason. Typically it just comes in and immediately gets extracted, but you know, it's fine. And then our drawer controller here has the high priority, so that if it matches anything in our drawers here, it goes here first. I have been leaving this one open because, and I kind of forgot and I dumped a bunch of stuff in it. I have been leaving this one unlocked because I wanted to see if I was missing anything that was coming out of like the centrifuge or the ore processing or something. It would go in here and I would, you know, realize that I needed to slot a spot. But if I don't have that locked and I'm just like crafting something and I go to toss something back in here, it'll go in there first. But I actually think I am going to go ahead and lock that because we're going to be doing some crafting in a second. But I have this in the works of being organized. These I think are going to get shifted over a little bit more once I get more honey blocks. I'm only going to have, I mean, this can go really anywhere, but I'm only going to keep enough for, what is it, like 8 stacks of each honey block, because you don't really need them. I mostly am just having them just to have them, I guess, for like collection purposes. And I'm wanting to go ahead and run and get every type of honey, specifically for the honey bottle, so that I can eat it or like drink it, because it'll count towards my foods and it'll raise my hearts. So this is what I've gotten so far, and again, these are going to be a little bit more organized and probably scooch this whole thing over. But yeah, I've got like the different metals here at the moment. Of course, I'll need to get like better storage upgrades. Eventually these are probably going to go into like compacting chests anyway, or drawers anyway. But I have all these items. This is all the kind of extra stuff you can get from centrifuging the honeycombs. There's a few things that are missing that I haven't done yet. Like you can get blank slates and something else. I can't remember what it is from doing like the bloody bee, but I haven't made these bees yet, of course. So I don't have those items. Like I'm going to put the blocks of the honeycombs for mana, the terrestrial, elven, and sky, and then infused, tainted, and celestial honeycombs in here. And then a couple of these, I think like this one, I'm just avoiding any excess, that once this chest fills up, it's just going to void the 8 stacks, because I really don't need more than that. Like diamond dust, I'm going to be getting diamonds anyway, so I don't really need to keep that diamond dust on hand. And then like the cat spawn eggs and like these different types of foods here, like they're amazing, but I really don't need a giant drawer full of them, you know? So I'm just voiding the excess of that. Some of these other ones I am going to need a lot more, or a decent amount more, so I am going to have upgrades into them because they'll be used for other things. This is still kind of getting, you know, organized here. Oh, I don't actually think I really showed the basement. I don't really know kind of the look I was going for. It's kind of just, I don't know. It looks okay. But I've moved over these different things just to get them over here from the old base. They'll get moved as well. Yeah, like this stuff will be moved to the factory. That'll go to like the magic area. That'll go into like the tech building, you know, stuff like that. So I have a travel anchor here. Waystone. I put the natural altar here for just the moment because it had some like a high aura spot. Let's see. I've got this stuff moved over just temporarily, just to kind of get set back up over here. I did also kind of just semi-automate the gold powder. I have a button here that there's redstone from the redstone pin underneath each of those dispensers to be able to kind of semi-automate that. I did also find out how I was talking about this mossy ring that slowly repairs held items. It works for the redstone pin. Like, you don't actually have to put a bunch of redstone in it. It will just add durability of redstone into it, which is a little, like, it exploits it. I've also found that it works on the aura cache as well, to a point. It seems to have stopped, like, at this mark. I mean, that's totally fine, but I mean, I had it in my offhand, or in my main hand, and it was filling up with aura, like, really fast, or decently fast. Let's see. I did move over the trees over here. I've got the sap, resin, the mineral, which I think I remember when I first set up the mineral tree at the old base, I was having issues, but I couldn't remember what I had done to fix it, to like register with the arboreal extractor. So I was having some problems again when I was setting up this tree, and I think what was causing the problem, or like why the arboreal extractor wasn't registering it, was because it had one of those like enriched logs that have like the little crystal in it. And I mean, at least for me, it fixed it, like it started working once I broke that block and just put a normal log in its place. I guess it maybe just can't have those in the tree for it to work right, because now it's working fine. So and then I did set up an ether tree with to get the liquid chorus, and this one as well, I had to do some weird like finagling around with it. It wasn't wanting to register on the log or the tree, and so I had to like, I think the tree actually grew from here, maybe, I can't remember, and I had to like move the log over and kind of reform this base part of the tree, and for some reason that got it to work. I don't know. I know I had to mess with that one a lot too. And then I have some latex production here. This has just been running for a while, just passively, while I've been doing a lot of other stuff. So it is completely backed up right now. I have a full storage drawer, I mean with no upgrades, but of the tiny dry rubber, this is backed up. I have latex all backed up in here. But yeah, I just have a small fluid collection funnel right here that is pumping water into the latex processing unit. Gets power there, which we're going to be moving to, actually today, I think. No, not today. We'll be starting some stuff to be able to get to it, to be able to make ender tanks so that I can easily transport the blazing blood to all of my different magmatic dynamos a little bit more like efficiently, just as like a medium power storage until I get to a little bit better storage past that. But and then the arboreal extractor is getting bone meal piped underneath out of here into this to make the latex production a little quicker. And yeah, and then just storing some in here and then going into this to be turned into the dry rubber itself. And I think I hit on everything there. I'm trying to remember everything that I kind of did off camera, because it was just basically a lot of just moving and getting resituated over here. Just feeling a little bit more comfortable with like production of resources and everything. The last thing that I did that's a little bit more kind of significant is I set up for lithium production here. I will also put a link to the gentleman's video that I watched to kind of get this whole setup arranged. It's basically like I can kind of just do a little quick look around here, but his video is a very good like walkthrough tutorial of how to set this up. So yeah, basically just redstone controlling a few soul braziers, getting broken and replaced to provide heat to everything, and then just making brine here, trashing the steam that comes out of both of these, so it's just pulling the steam out of the top and trashing it, but it's making brine, pulling the brine, putting it over here, and then turning it into the liquid lithium, which is then going over here and made into the lithium dust and getting pulled out and up there. So yeah, I think that's basically what all I've done off camera. That was, I know, a lot of talking. All right, and looking back at what I had recorded, I realized that I also never came back and kind of showed the honey part of this. I showed kind of the item exporting and kind of going back and forth to the factory, but I never showed the honey part. So this one here, it has a lot of connections because there's a lot of different tanks and such. So basically with this one, with this top controller, it's exporting the honey on this line here, and it is first inputting priority into a tank first. So I have filtered, like, when I get a new honey, I basically will set up a tank for one, and I'll set the priority. I'll do the distribution mode as priority, because if you do it as distribute, it will put most of the stuff in the higher priority, but it will still put a little bit in the honey congealers. So if you want to just strictly like prioritize the tank first, do priority here, and then I just put it as a 10 priority. I mean, anything higher than whatever you have your honey congealer set as will be, of course, the higher priority. And then I have it filtered for, this one's lapis, this one's redstone, the rainbow honey. So basically just all of these are filtered with whatever honey goes in that tank with a priority of 10 to fill up first. So that way I have like a full, just basic tank of 32 buckets of each type of honey. Just to have, it's not really needed specifically, but some of the honey is very useful, but some of them isn't really, but I just wanted to have a collection of all of them. And then after the tank fills up, it'll go to the congealer next. So then on the congealers, I have them all labeled, and I insert as just standard, 0 priority, so it'll be after the tanks, and then I have it filtered for whatever honey goes in there. And then after the congealer congeals it into a block, it'll export the honey block. I don't have it filtered because it's just going to have one export. It's not, you don't really need that. So just export into the tank, or the chest here that I have under here, and this will go to the main storage. So this is the same chest that the rest of the items, like let's see, where is that here? These items. So like the items from the centrifuge that don't need any further processing, that chest is the same that the honey blocks will end up in, and then it just goes straight to our storage. And then those drawers over here, which I had kind of shown the drawers, but I never actually showed it's over that way, the honey kind of organization over there. But these are going to have void upgrades. These do have void upgrades. So I'm not only going to keep like a drawer full of these honey blocks, and then everything else, it'll still process the honey so it gets it out of the centrifuge, but I'm not exactly like just straight trashing it, because I do still want to have the honey being dealt with in case I do use these blocks or I do use the liquid honey or something. It's still being processed through and not just trashed. So it'll constantly keep the tank stock and the tanks stocked, and then it'll slowly fill these up and keep these stocked, and then just anything extra will just get voided, but that's completely fine. It's still at least getting it out of the centrifuge, so the centrifuge will still be running and still work. So that's one thing I realized that I hadn't shown. And then the other thing was at the factory, I never actually showed. Why is this? Oh, this stopped because of I ran out of lava. So yeah, that we'll definitely be wanting to get the ender tanks soon so that I can keep this running pretty easily. And of course I could like set up a windmill, which I will. This is kind of I'd say cheaty, but I mean it's just working the mechanics of the mods, but like a trick to get continuous stress. And but yeah, I can of course just set up a windmill as well, and that's constant passive power. But this one I never actually showed, this entangled block. This is set up at our storage network over there to bring any chunks, like ore chunks and the like diamond chunks and stuff like that, from our main storage over here to be processed. So it's exporting, which I mean right now it's pulling from the bee emporium. So I really do need to get this running again so that it's not going to back up this chest. But this will pull those from our storage and send them to be processed, so that like if I'm just doing some mining, or not that I really would need to do a lot of mining at this point, but say like quest rewards or something that give you a bunch of like chunks of ore, I can just toss in our storage here and it will pull it into this chest, which I have a high retrieval, just so it I think it makes it like retrieve faster. I'm not really sure. I don't know if a high retrieval is necessarily needed, but it is filtered for like the Minecraft ore chunks that are it's like the forge, forge ores. And then I think I had to put ancient debris and Nebu ore in here, or Nebu ore, because I don't think it worked without having those filtered on here. I can't remember. I know I added them in here for a reason, but then you want to have a tag filter so that this filter will basically treat this high filter module as a tag filter, so that any ores that match forge ores will come through here. So that way you don't have to set each individual ore chunk. You can just put one in here and it will pull any that match that tag. But it does work for ancient debris and the Nebu ore. I did test that out. So that way, like anytime I toss something in here, it'll just immediately get pulled out, put in here, and go over to our processing that way. So anyway, I realized that was something that I did not further explain or show anyway. So this is going to be the end of kind of that midway point between the episode that I recorded. So the next episode will actually have more of progression, actually doing some stuff and not just talking. So anyway, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.